Back when nothing truly mattered and we hadn't had a clue. We fell in to play the game. Nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter. There were times when there was joy. But they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome to our home world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our home world. All that I tried to hide away from the scars we made. This is your chance to understand we did not design this plan that was built for you. There's nothing you can do. This is my warning, this is your sign that you can't go running high. We will fight for you. You know it to be true. Welcome to our home world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our home world. All that I tried to hide away from the scars we made. From the scars we Welcome to our home world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our home world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our home world. All that I tried to hide away from the scars we made. Welcome to
And welcome everyone to Nerd TV for another Global Sim Racing Truck Series race coming at you live from my neck of the woods down here in the southeast corner of the United States, Daytona International Speedway, simulated, of course, on the iRacing service. And we're in for 100 laps here for the Hangover 250. If you want to know that name, just talk to Michael Lester. He'll give you a long paragraph that means absolutely nothing. 80 degrees, air temp, 78% humidity. If you're in Florida right now, it's actually like 120, but we'll take 78. Cloudy, 7-mile-an-hour winds. Don't think that will be too much of a factor. As long as the trucks are stable, then we should have a good, solid race here. My name is Jeremy Stanley, a.k.a. Jay Swifty on the interwebs. My name actually below my face. That's awesome. And Dustin Locks, producer / broadcaster / everything. Wildcard. What's up, man?
What's going on? Yeah, I decided not to slack tonight and actually put your name down there. I figured you probably earned it, so Jeremy's name back under there, so everybody knows who the legend, the myth, the man, Mr. J Stan is. Been a while since I've called. Yeah, but Daytona. I mean, you know me. I'm a sucker for plate racing. I love Daytona, Talladega, and contrary to the unpopular belief, I'm actually a fan of IRSS as well. And yes, I do wish that iRacing would bring 8-Bowl back from the old NR2K3 days, because I love plate racing. So
yeah, you do.
I do. But it's a good. I mean, it's a fun track. You know, plenty of room on there. Like you said, as long as the drivers are stable, a lot of laps, 100 laps here tonight. Goal is to make it to the end. I mean, you can ride around for 80 laps and then just race it hard for that dub in the last 20. But a lot of factors tonight, Jeremy. You and I both know, as well as any other, that it's not just the racing on the surface. It's the draft, you know, the drafting, finding your dancing partner, your teammates on the track. But it's also pit stops. We get to green flag pit stops. Those are so important. They're ever so vital to these drivers, because you're coming in from 180 plus mile an hour down to pit road speed at 55 miles an hour. So when they hit pit road, they got to get it woed down. So your possibility to see some unsafe pit entries, speeding on pit road, coming in a little too hot, maybe overshooting it, taking out the cone, going to the right of the cone, being the commitment cone. And then pit exit's going to be vital as well, because you do not want to lose that draft. So pit window's looking to be about 30 to 35 laps. So with a little bit of fuel saving, cautions could help that as well, because they can save under caution. You can get this race done in 2 green flag stops. And that's if you save in the draft, which is completely possible tonight, Jeremy.
With Michael Lester being back here for a Daytona show-off, he was in the drivers' meeting. First time I got to attend one, the tail end of it, and he was just telling these guys, "Hey, we've done this before. We've went flag to flag, no cautions, and let's try to replicate that tonight." And so everyone's on that mindset. They heard it in their ear. They're going to try to perform their best, and let's see if we can't have a amazing race here this evening. We got just over 1 minute left in practice, Dustin. Quick rundown for the top 5 in points. Chad McGinley, only person to have, let me take that back. He's got 17 starts in front of everyone else that has 18, because he has 6 wins, 12 top 5. So that kind of performance will put you up there. 40 points ahead, second place. Joshua Slade. You got Bobby Mantle sitting in third, 99 points back. Fourth place, EJ Luna, 153 back, and Mr. Stephen Knight, 191 back. That's your top 5. What a huge variance in points for just the top 5 alone. That just shows you that 6 wins from Chad and the 4 from Joshua Slade, just crushing the competition this year. And but it's Daytona. It's a wild card race, so some guys up there, 5th to 10th, might be trying to get a little bounce back week here.
Yeah, and it is a wild card. I mean, if you can stay clean, some good luck on your side, some bad luck on some of your other points competitors' side, and you could have a solid points gain day today. I will be honest, until I heard it in the drivers' meeting, I did not have a caution-free Daytona or Talladega race on my bingo card as a possibility, but Lester says that the boys here at Global Racing League have done it before and time again, so it is entirely doable. So as we wrap up qualifying right now, making his return, Mr. Ron Holmes taking the top practice spot in time Again, that's all draft racing and everything else, but good to see him up there. So that will key him up as being our first, once he actually hits pit road, to actually ride along with for his qualifying attempt.
Yeah, he's got that similar injury that you've been fighting for months on end. So
Right.
to see him and the truck guy, you've done it. You do it several nights a week there on the super speedway. So Ronald's gonna give it a shot. And of course, we're gonna get our faces off your screens. We're gonna tune into the 33 if we can. See if he puts down a qualifying effort. Chad McGinley right now on track. He was the second fastest. So we're gonna kind of rotate to him until we get Mr. Holmesy on the track. You see it right now. It's 8 p.m., 8:05 server time on the track. So you're going to see that sunset. You see the dusk over the 2.5 mile track now. And then about 40 minutes, sunset will officially happen. And then it's going to be night racing from this point forward.
Yeah, and nothing against the prestige that is the Daytona 500, Jeremy. But for me, this track under the lights looks amazing. I mean, the cars, and in this case, the trucks look better. The racing it just seems more intense. You can see the sparks more. I mean, it'll light it up as these things are bottoming out on the track. So it's definitely a better spectacle, in my personal opinion, to watch a plate race under the lights. I still waiting for the day that we can do that at Talladega.
A lot of money. Daytona's done it. They got so many of those bright LEDs across this whole entire track. They host that 24-hour Rolex race, and the front straightaway, it is almost daytime at the track in real life. So I love it. It'd be nice to see that. It would also, this is the virtual side, Dustin. I know you don't want to mess with Talladega because realism, but maybe we get that push for that 8-ball, maybe they can put some virtual LEDs around that place. We'll go nighttime 8-ball, which we've never done because that wasn't a thing back 21 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. And here's the thing. I mean, they've done, tracks in iRacing that weren't a thing at that point in time, but did actually become a real thing. iRacing's actually helped design certain real life tracks and everything else. So why can't iRacing sit here and light Talladega up? Let everybody see what it's going to look like under the lights. Maybe that'll be the push needed. But I'm with you. I'm still saying, give us 8-ball. Come on, give us 8-ball. There's nothing better than a super speedway figure 8, man. It's unknown at every corner. It's awesome. But right now, McGill on the 99, Austin McGill at a 50.68. Ron Holmes, our fastest practice guy, has not hit the track yet, so we're going to stay on Chad McGinley, our second fastest. Closest person right now to McGill is Emmerich at a 50.71, and Stephen Hayes at a 50.72. That is your top three as they sit right now. You see Chad McGinley working through turn 3, getting ready to exit turn 4. He's going to sit here and keep it as low as possible. Is he going to dip it below the yellow to gain some speed? He sure is. That is allowed in practice and qualifying to maximize time, but not allowed in the race. You cannot dip below the yellow and advance your position. Even if you're forced, if you are forced below there, you are to re-merge back up without gaining position. That was stated in the driver's meeting. Chad McGinley slotted P2 at a 50.69, Jeremy.
Yeah, if I recall right, the very first race, the Daytona opening season for 2024, we had that issue where they had to review the rule book, and then they had to make some calls and adjustments, and now we are back to basically what the NASCAR rule book reads. And I'm glad you followed up with that detail, because you can technically during the race go below the yellow line. You're just not going to have any draft help. You're not going to be able to pass trucks. And it's just not good to go down there at all. So you will see them on the right-hand side of that line. And here is Michael Lester, by the way. Mama's Boy truck right now. You got our logo there on the roof. You see a Mama's image on the hood. You're going to see it on the side of the truck from Lazy Lizard Racing. And Lester with a one-off appearance. I think he's going to be showing up for Talladega too, but Daytona, here we go. See what he's got.
Yeah, he did make mention that he was going to make an appearance. So right now he's slotted P15, 50.78. He does not better his time. So he is going to be slotted P15 right now. John DeMatteo, 50.67. P1, P2 is Clayton White at a 50.68. That is going to be your front row, Jeremy.
There it is. 3, 2, 1, 0. Hangover 250 qualifying is completed. We have 25 entries here tonight for 100 laps at the virtual Daytona International Speedway. And we're going to take a second here to let the trucks grid up, and then the very infamous walkthrough grid style, what they used to do way back in the day on TV, and what Dustin is kind of bringing back to life here. And waiting for a few more. Let's go ahead. You got your walking shoes on, Dustin?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. 26, John DeMatteo on the right-hand side of your screen. 101 Motorsports is your pole center here tonight. Clayton White, second place. Austin McGill and Chad McGinley. You're going to be third and fourth in row 2. Row 3, you'll find Bradley Miner in 5th, Bobby Mantle in 6th. Row 4 will be Anthony Emmerich in 7th, EJ Luna in 8th place. 9th place, Stephen Hayes. Top 10, rounded out by Ron Harrington. 11th, 12th, you'll find John Howard and Shane Wheeldon. 13th and 14th will be Patrick Gentner and Mark Sherwood. 15th place, Michael Lester. 16th, Joshua Slade. 17th, you'll find Jamie Horn. 18th, Stephen Smith. 19th, Jason Schilling. 20th place, Kenny Heath. 21st, Danny White. 22nd, Stephen Knight. He's the first person to not post time. So did the other 3 drivers, which is Brody Marinko, Abram Ghostin, and Ronald Holmes. Fastest in practice, put down last place in qualifying. And here we go. We're just going to wait for the pace truck to roll out here. 1 pace lap. So it's going to be a couple minutes for setting up their last minute things they got to do. Check mark your fuel, check mark your tires, whatever you got to do behind the scene there to set up for the first pit stop. And we're looking forward to it, Dustin. 100 laps is going to be great under the lights. We do a lot of racing here weekly. We don't call these often, so I'm looking forward to get back behind all the buttons and stuff to make this thing happen tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you're right. We spend a lot of time at these tracks week in and week out, but we do not get to call them very often. Usually only about 2 times or so in an actual series schedule do we actually get to call them. So it's always nice to, take a seat back and just watch and call the action rather than being kind of mixed up in the middle of the action.
Yeah, 100% there. And see the sun setting over turn 1 there. Beautiful orangish peachy colored sunset on the virtual side of iRacing. They're getting these sunsets down really good. As we got the drone flying over your first 2 starting drivers, John DeMatteo, Clayton White. And you said if we go flag to flag, there will be 2 pit stops. Don't expect the 3rd one to happen based off of what your math is telling you. A lot of staggering here. Looks like 1 truck may be going to the back, not sure. And they've got a half lap, Dustin, and we're going to see the green flag fly.
Yeah, and like I said, the pit window is 30 to 35, and the reason why it's a window like that is it all depends on how hard these drivers push it. Obviously, if you're leading the pack, you're going to burn more fuel, so your pit window is probably going to be at the earlier lap stage of 30 on that one. But if you're riding in the draft the whole time, you can probably stretch it to 35 max. So you're looking at, you can go first pit stop at 30, second one at 60, and then your 3rd one would be at 90 unless you can sit here and save a little bit during that time. So you can see where there's some variance. There's going to have to be some saving here by these drivers. That is a guarantee if it goes flag to flag, Jeremy.
Absolutely here. And we had a lot of parachuting in our race yesterday at iRacing Super Speedway. Will it be similar here tonight? Pace truck is down, waiting for the lights to turn green on the catch fence, and there we go. Green flag is out. Global Sim Racing Truck Series of Daytona is underway for the Hangover 250. The 26, John DeMatteo, gets a nose, gets a whole truck over the 14, Clayton White, the 99, Austin McGill. Gonna just push the 26 through the back half of the tri-oval and determine number 1, releases them just in time for corner entrance there. 2 trucks clear the 14. Does Austin move to the top?
Yeah, he's kind of flirting with the idea, but elects to stay with the 26 there. Now looks to move in front of the 14 of Clayton White. Going to lead that second lane. And Jeremy, this is what you're going to see. You are going to see two-lane racing. Now that top lane, if they can get organized, can be a rocket ship, you know, to the lane on that bottom. And side draft is going to play a factor tonight. Side draft is huge with the C-Class trucks here, the B-Class Xfinity, and the A-Class Next Gen, or Gen 7 is what they actually are right now. They're not Next Gen anymore. But side draft is going to be so vital on this, but you got to be careful because, again, you get too close, that infamous air pocket there that will sit here and push and make contact can send these trucks going. And now with this new package, Jeremy, that was rolled out about a month ago or so, these will blow over, and they will blow over very easy now. So right now you got your leader, De Matteo, still out front. Now Brad Minor all over his back bumper, and they stretched it to about a truck length and a half, Jeremy.
Yeah, like the best term I could think is a parachuting effect. Like when they spin out, it just feels like there's a parachute pull to the truck gets lifted. Same thing if they pull out a line. You just lose so much speed at super speedways now in the truck series. So we're going to see what that looks like. First time on our broadcast that we got to see a super speedway post update for the trucks. And the 26 going to have a nose over the 99, or actually the 99 and the 30, or 23 rather, from the Liquid Death truck there. As we're going to drone down the middle all the way back to mid-pack or so. We'll see how much we can carry this line. There we go. Back to the front. Looking at them. Still nose to tail, too wide. Very common. You're going to see this all night long, the too wide.
Already right some slam drafting. Look at the back of Bobby Mantle already.
And so Dustin's got the pigeon out there. He is flying to find the damage right there with his drone camera. But zooming up, look at the outside. Two trucks, single file at the top. 14 doing a great job. Now the 65 McGinley's given a ton of space where Dustin currently resides, his camera there. And pretty clean start to this event.
Oh, yeah. And what I'm seeing, Jeremy, right now is I am seeing 3 Team Whatchamacallit drivers lined up on that top side right now. And then you see 2 yellow spotters, 2 Grim Reaper back there as well. And then you have 2 more green ones. So right now it looks like Team Whatchamacallit is definitely sticking to that high side. And then on that low side, De Matteo and Brad Minor, those guys are teammates for One of One Motorsports as well. So teammates, already finding teammates out there, which if you remember was something we had talked about at the start of the race. You gotta have draft help out there. And then you got 2 Lone Star Racing drivers going nose to tail. That's EJ Luna, and it's also Stephen Hayes. So again, teammates, finding teammates, Jeremy.
There you go. There, 4.5 laps in so far. 16 viewers live at the moment on YouTube, and Dustin Franklin saying, "Go, EJ, go." That's, of course, EJ Luna and the number 24. You see him there on the right-hand side of your screen. 6th place, 3rd back on the inside lane. As they're kind of stalemating here. Going to come out the line. Going to be a really close race. De Matteo not going to be able to do it. The draft is so much better. Austin McGill is doing a great job pushing Anthony Ermick on the outside, keeping that nose advantage each and every single lap.
Oh, and he's doing an excellent job for more reasons than one. You can see him poke the right side of his truck out there, especially in the corners. There he does it again. So these trucks, when you get up on somebody, you get absolutely zero airflow to the front nose of that truck, which is bad. It's great for speed, but it's bad because you get no air to your cooling vents for your oil and your water. So you will start pinging on heat. Right now, with him poking his right nose out like that, that's telling me his water temp is up there. The cooling vent for the water is on the right side of these trucks. Cooling vent for the oil is on the left. So you'll see them kind of dodge and weave. And the driver that can maintain draft and maintain water and oil temps is going to be one of the best pushers in tonight's Hangover 250.
Yeah, definitely gives you advantage for sure at the line. Anthony still holds it by less than a tenth of a second rather. Loses it momentarily. Austin McGill had to let go to cool down the truck. You see him dipping that nose. Not going to get as great of a launch as they're going to be dead heat side by side. Down the back straightaway. Headed off into turn number 3. Austin back to the bumper, doing everything he can until the gauges turn orange and red. He backs it down once more. And now it's heat conservation. You can't go too hard in the paint anymore because you're going to blow the thing up if you do. So we're going to see a lot of spacing, a lot of left to right here for the next 25 laps-ish before we come down pit road.
Yeah, and something else you might see these drivers do is we talked about teammates working with teammates. It would not be uncommon for, say, Anthony Emmerich in that 23 leading that top side right now, that if the temperature management is getting too difficult for his teammate Austin McGill behind him, that he will jump down to that bottom lane to allow Austin to get that fresh air to cool that engine off. It's well worth splitting the team up momentarily to get back together later on rather than have a teammate grenade an engine 8 to 10 laps into a race.
And look at that. The top two move to the bottom. First lane change we've seen from the leaders in about 5 laps. They cut in front of John DeMatteo. Now Anthony Emmerich and Austin McGill going to lead the inside lane for a change. Across the line to complete lap number 8. Advancing to lap number 9. They're going to still remain 3 trucks single file now. 46, Bradley Minor. 14, Clayton White. They're going to be nose to nose here for 4th and 5th place. And here comes McGinley. He's getting really close. It's the first time we've seen him go press. Oh, and the 14 really checks up right behind these guys. I know you didn't see it on the camera, but man, that really shifted the inside back a little bit. And now you see that gap there. From the top two on the inside, they've extended it just a little bit.
Yeah, it's those sudden movements like that, even though they were in the draft, when you go to pull out of that draft, you are scrubbing speed, whereas the line you are getting in front of, Jeremy, is not scrubbing speed. They are still full throttle, so you have a checkup effect like that when drivers do switch lanes like that, and that's what gets dangerous, because the checkup may not be an issue up where we're at right now, which we're on board with Clayton White watching the action, but where it could be an issue is further back. You're right back there, right around where you see the 12 of Joshua Slade. That's where it could be dangerous, because that stack-up effect and everybody lifting off, eventually somebody may not be able to check up in time, and they're going to hit the rear bumper a little too hard, and it's going to send a truck flying.
Yeah, 100% there. Look at the inside still. Like, you see John, he jumped up to the top to try to get that momentum rebuilt, but he's got to do it with the 14 and Clayton White. But, man, this is open setup, and it is Daytona, and you're all packed up. But at the end of the day, if your setup's really good at leading and another one's really good at pushing, and you combine those trucks together, you're going to see Anthony Emmerich and Austin McGill do this a good chunk of tonight's race. And doesn't matter which lane. They led up on the top, no problem. They move down. They're leading the bottom now. Can't get a truck to the 23's door panel yet, but look at this massive run Mateo has with Clayton. Down the back straightaway, going off turn number 3 for the first time in 2 laps plus. You're going to see the 23 and 26 side by side in 3.
Oh, yeah. Clayton White was just giving DeMatteo the business on that one there. Propelled him up about 2 trucks to go side by side with your current race leader, the 23 of Anthony Emmerich. That's how vital this draft is, and you're going to see that. Now, drivers can't do that all the time, but that's why they try to maximize the speed, and they typically only push like that down the straightaway so they can maximize that speed. But Jeremy, what I'm seeing tonight, and this tells me that what was stated in drivers' meeting, that these drivers can go flag to flag without any issues. We got a 3 wide situation here right now. You got Clayton White on the outside, DeMatteo in the middle, Luna on the inside. They're going in. Ooh, real close there. No help on that 3rd lane. Clayton White all out there by himself in that sucker hole. And there you go. Mateo pulls in. Now we go back to 2 wide. But I see a lot of give and take. Just like that. There was a lot of give and take here. These drivers are just trying to make it to the end right now. And that's what I'm seeing. But we're working lap 13, Jeremy. So we're coming up close to halfway to our earliest pit window start of 30 laps. So in 2 more laps, we are already halfway through the earliest pit run window that we can right now. So these drivers, they're trying to take it away.
Kind of do some research there while you were talking, and Dustin Franklin on YouTube asked, where did he get the tail damage? Referring to the 89 of Bobby Mantle. I went back, and that started all the way in pit road before they even left pit road for their warm-up lap.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Bobby Mantle did not go when everybody else did. And so EJ Luna, he approached him, hit the brake a little bit. but completely domino affected. 6 trucks in a line, just do, and it ended up pushing in the back end of the 89 Bobby Mantle. Barely see that. That's CJ Luna.
Yeah, that's what when you said his name. That's why I want to go and check his. His is pushed in too. So that's probably the worst feeling ever, Jeremy, is to get damaged on pit road before you guys even start hitting the pace lap. That's probably the worst thing because these bodies are so aero dependent. The good thing is the damage looks minimal. It's not hindering any of the drivers right now. EJ Luna slotted in a battle for 7th place right now with John Howard. So he's jumping between 7th and 8th. And then Mantle is slotted. Where's Mantle running right now?
He's running top 5.
The top 5, yeah. So he's running P5, yep, on that high side. So again, it's not hindering their trucks at all right now. When they come in for pit road, if it's under caution or something like that, they can spend a little extra time, get a little bit of a repair. But really, Jeremy, at this point in time, it's not hindering you. I'd let it roll.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, don't worry about the option. Don't go to the back of the pack unless you know your truck can pass a bunch of people in a hurry. But look at this inside lane. And we saw McGinley. He pushed Clayton White to the front. And then, of course, Clayton took the inside lane, and it really shifted out the outside. And now we got a lot of trucks. I think the top 6 single file now on the bottom. Clayton White goes around and leads lap 15. So, yeah, that's officially a halfway mark before the fuel window opens. And this will be the second lap Clayton does lead here tonight. Going through turns 1 and 2. I know it's a little early, Dustin, but I would like to kick up the tudes, turn up the tudes. We're going to listen to the trucks go on Daytona. We'll be right back. And welcome back here. That was Turn Up the Tudes. Got to hear the trucks roaring around Daytona. And look at this top 4. They have broken away somehow from Chad McGill in the 65. So Clayton White, Anthony Emmerich, Austin McGill, Bradley Minor. That is your top 4 coming across the line here to complete lap number 18 onward to 19. For the most part, though, the rest of the field 2 by 2 by 2 still, as we're getting ever so closer to this first round of green flag pit stops.
Jeremy, I'm going to throw this out there just because I've been keeping up with some of the Facebook posts and everything else, especially because this week has been Daytona week. Team Whatchamacallit runs Premier Setups, and I'm telling you, Premier Racing Setups, based off of their Facebook posts, have put out a banger as far as finishers. They had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Premier drivers in a row, and nobody could touch them when they got together and out front. Very reminiscent of what you're seeing of these top 3 right now. So that's got me wondering. These drivers are gonna have to work together to try to chase these guys down and get by them. There's a little bit of a bad bump there, a little bit of off-center bump there from Luna to McGinley, a little bit of a wiggle, but they were able to collect it back up. But yeah, they're gonna have to get organized, Jeremy, because these drivers right now they've got about a 3 to 4 truck length difference in between this 4-pack and everybody else's. Are now starting to drag them slowly back in. But if you look, even Brad Miner's starting to lose those top 3. There's about a truck length and a half in between him and McGill. So he's starting to fall back a little bit. So it's going to be interesting, Jeremy. We got about 10 laps until the earliest pit window lap is open, and that's going to be at lap 30. So that's when stuff is really going to start shaking up.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with how these guys' setups here in the front are just able to pull away from their competition, not have to worry about someone on your door panel. You're just running a qualifying line around here each and every single lap for the next 10 laps. A couple trucks on the top trying to make some moves, but at the end of the day, they're not going to have the strength in numbers, and they're going to start overheating. That's Ron Harrington, the 57, doing a lot of work for the 78 there. John Howard gets them to third. I'm surprised he made it this far. They're going to come off turn number 4, get that little run down the hill. But the first two have really separated themselves. 3 trucks. Look at this. Howard has made it to Emmerich at the line.
Oh, yeah. And that was a big push. And then and then Harrington dips down. I don't know if Harrington was going down there to try to get a little bit of drag pull from the 23 of Emmerich. But that left John Howard out to dry on that high side. Right now, he is in that sucker hole, so to speak, because the next closest driver to him is the 44 of Mark Sherwood. And he's just now closing up to the back bumper. But that still puts John Howard right now, as Howard now pulls in line third. That's going to leave Mark Sherwood in the 44 leading the top side with Danny White in the 64 behind him.
Do you see the color of these windshield banners and the spoilers in the bottom row here?
I do. It's a lot of green, my favorite color.
That is all 5 team whatchamacallit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the bottom. That just goes to show you how well this setup is working for this team. And great run. I thought 57 was going to leave John, but since they're teammates, he opened the window and then he lifted. He allowed John to sneak in, and now they're doing the teamwork thing. Look at the top, though. Top 2 are orange spoilers. That's Lone Star Racing. 44, Mark Sherwood leading that pack there. Danny White in second. Still only orange spoilers inside the top 10. Oh, Ooh. They get a little loose. Saves
Ooh.
it.
That is something you do not see very often at Daytona or Talladega, is a truck that gets loose like that. Could have been just a little bit too much wheel input on that, and these things have been known to snap like that. But, Jeremy, one thing we have to know is, again, 6 laps until the pit window opens. A lot of these team drivers are going to come down with each other, so it doesn't surprise me to see 5 team whatchamacallit drivers lined up like that, and to see a couple packs. I see 3 yellow spoilers lined up back there as well, so that's Grim Reaper Motorsports. So these drivers are getting together because they're going to be coming down together. If you come down by yourself at this track during green flag pit stops, you're dead in the water.
There's no way they don't come down pit road together. We see some teams like to do that where they kind of mix it up, but the way they filed in all by themselves at the top on the inside lane, that just tells me that they are looking to pit all together. And as we get to lap 25 now, next lap will be the end of the first quarter. And look at all there's a lot of trucks that are dancing dust. I don't think it's just Lone Star, but I don't know if it's the wind and then the looseness of these setups, but they're moving around a little bit.
Yeah, I was trying to look to see who that was. It was up on the high side there. Man, who was that? Was that Steven Smith? Yeah, that was Steven Smith. He was super close in the 41. He was super close to that wall and almost just slid that wall. Truck looked like it was a little loose like that, but definitely seeing some handling issues out here with these open setups like this. But yeah, Jeremy, you're right. I mean, you see that lead pack. I mean, they're all bunched up, and then you get to about Chad McGinley on back, and there's a lot of space. A lot of give and take. They're maintaining draft, but they're not up in the mix with that, and that is another setup for pit stops coming up. You got to remember, these drivers, I mean, we'll go on board with Mark Sherwood here. we'll look at his deck lid and look at his telemetry as he just jumps down. 190 mile an hour right now. So these drivers are coming from 190 mile an hour down to 55. And that is a feat in itself, doing it by yourself. But these guys are going to be doing it with probably, at minimum, 6 other cats or more as they're coming down, all funneling down into a 2-lane pit road. So it's tricky.
Not only do the brakes have to work, you have to go through the gears correctly. There's a lot of gear braking, and it's very easy to lock them up, wheel hop, that kind of nature. Easy to lock up the front tire. And you're going to be doing it not only with your 5 or 6 teammates, right? You're also going to be doing it 2 and 3 wide, getting to pit road entrance. So you have to coordinate, do I want bottom, do I want top? You can't be shifting lanes because other people are trying to barrel in as well. And I know some of y'all probably know this by now, but needless to say, it's still important to know. And look at this, the 44 Sherwood leaves his teammate. So Danny White now going to be pushed by the 95 here at Jason Schilling. And now the orange spoilers are going to lead both the bottom and the top, as pit stops are now within 5 laps.
Yeah, pit stops are definitely are coming fast. And, you know, like you said, I mean, pit stops are, it's a little bit of a wobble there from the 44. They're going to be tricky. The gear braking is so vital in these things. You have to go through the gears. It's so easy to go from 4th and try to go up to 3rd, and instead of hitting 3rd, you hit 1st. I've known some drivers that has happened to as well, and it's going to be tricky to get everything down, but we're going to find out here, Jeremy, in probably about the next 2 to 3 laps. I would expect some of these drivers, especially some of them that have been up front leading, like Clayton White, who's been burning more fuel, like Mark Sherwood, who's been burning more fuel. Anthony Emmerich was up there and led a number of laps. These drivers all burnt quite a bit of fuel, breaking the air for the rest of these trucks, and now you see them tucked back behind other trucks trying to save to try to even out that fuel consumption. But I would expect that some of those drivers are probably going to be coming down sooner rather than later.
Yeah, really. Look at the top, the 2 trucks on the bottom, Mark Sherwood, Clayton White. Those guys are chasing each other all the way down the back straightaway and continuing to chase each other in 3 and 4. That's going to allow Danny White to sneak in because how much Mark was left and right on the wheel. He's still left and right. That truck was loose on the top. It looks like he's loose on the bottom. Unable to have Clayton White get complete to that bumper. And that is why you saw the 64 make the charge. And quickly, the 95 Jason Schilling gets to the race lead from the top lane. See the spacing between the 44, 64, unable to still have good control. And even though there's only 5 or 6 on the top, everybody else on the bottom, when you have all that kind of movement, you allow that outside to have the momentum.
Yeah. And one thing to note, too, is typically this league has no open comms, that's text comm or voice comm, in the race. You only have communication with your team in Discord. That's it, to make it as realistic as possible, because that's how it would be in real life. They have opened up comms for chat only, just to signal your intent that you're going to be pitting, just to try to lower any issues or cautions, inevitable cautions that could come out due to a wreck coming down to pit road. So they're trying to minimize that, because the goal would be I think every driver and the admins alike would be slap ass happy if they could go flag to flag without a single caution. So allowing them to actually voice their intent, so to speak, with a quick chat message, if that lowers the chance of a caution, that's what the league elected to do.
I love that you notated that too. Yeah, they do that only for the tracks, Daytona and Talladega. And it's almost, I know the drivers back in the day used to do that at least 10, 12 years ago, and I loved it. And so they're kind of utilizing that. And yeah, it's needed. It's so needed. You don't have an active spotter you talk to in real life. They can't go tap on another spotter's shoulder and going, hey, we're going to pit in this lap, right? So it's all just dependent on either texting or voice messaging only through the iRacing platform. And we're going to see it here. 32 in the books this time. Still at 5 or 6 on the top. Looks like 6 right now.
Well, Jeremy, and if you remember, I mean, back in the day, and some drivers still utilize that drivers will sit here and they'd put their hand out the window and wave, to the driver behind them to let them know, hey, I'm pitting this lap, I'm pitting this lap. So that's kind of the direction the league was taking was, hey, that quick chat message is like that driver putting their hand out the window saying, hey, I'm pitting this lap, just giving you a heads up.
Yeah, you just press the hotkey saying, hey, I'm pitting. That's basically the hand wave in the virtual side of things. We're getting to the very end of that window that was advertised, Dustin, here, approaching lap 35 in just a couple laps. Everyone's found at the bottom for the most part. We're just waiting for the first team to find their way. And it might happen this lap or next because we're at the lap 33 mark. So 33 times 3 is basically 100. So they can make it on 2 stops, definitely.
Yeah, so and like I said, I mean, it all depends on how much they're saving. Some of these drivers may have saved a little bit more, but I'm saying it's going to be coming soon, Jeremy, because right now, you only have 4 trucks on that high side, and unfortunately the 98 of Jamie Horn is going to be left out to dry. He's going to have to try to file in somewhere in there, but you see drivers like Joshua Slade, who's on that high side, he's trying to file in as well. They're all lining up on the inside, Jeremy. I would look for them this lap, and if not this lap, next lap, because they're all on that bottom lane right now, led by the 95 of Jason Schilling.
And they are so spaced out, it almost looks like they are going to come down pit road just because of the spacing.
Here they come.
Jason Schilling in 14th. Oh, there might be contact. Missed. They're 3 wide, though. 23 in the middle, Amherst. Oh, McGill, great entrance. They're able to pass the 26. 26, really conservative approach there.
Look at that, 4 wide down pit road.
And this is tricky. iRacing, within 2 or 3 stalls, you go invisible. You can't make contact, but when you're 4 wide at that moment, you can still make contact with one another. So great job for everyone not wrecking each other.
Oh, absolutely. And that leaves the remaining part of the field out there. I would expect this pack to come down this time. Not uncommon for the field to split 50-50 because a lot of drivers, they want to lower the chance of any accidents and contact as they enter pit road. So it's not uncommon. Jeremy, you and I and the rest of Nerd Esports have done that time and time again on Saturdays where we try to not come in with the bulk of the pack, and here they all come again right now, coming down pit road. Oh, the 44 Sherwood. Lester around.
No. Oh, and Ronald Holmes hits the worst part of the wall imaginable, right where the cutout is, destroys the front of that 33, and Michael Lester spins out. And I'm wondering if Mark Sherwood got a penalty for putting the tires in the grass, but here's another look. Nerd TV replay, Ronald Holmes, his night's going to be toast.
Yeah, so Lester's spinning right now. He sees it as he's coming up. He's trying to slow down. There's Lester right there. He turns down to try to do it. Worst possible spot right into that opening on that. Just tears the front nose up, and there she disappears. We're going to go back and take a look, because that's before that incident even happened. That's what I was commenting on was Mark Sherwood. I think he might have clipped that cone, and if he did, that will be deemed an unsafe pit entry, and it will be a stop and go. As he's coming in, Jeremy, we're going to find out real quick. Yep, that would be a clip. It went through the truck. We're going to have to see what iRacing deems if that was close enough. Did he? So, yep, that would be why he clipped it. Unfortunate as he's been out front leading for a good part of this race, Jeremy.
He just left his pit stall as you were going over the review there. So you will find the 44 over 1 lap down once everything fully cycles through. Super unfortunate, really fast truck. But now it's going to leave Danny White and the 13 of Stephen Hayes. Those two teams. Well, I guess you got EJ Luna. He got up there too. He's P.
Bobby Mantle.
So at least for the orange spoilers.
Yeah,
they got 3 up there. You got 2 yellow from Grim Reaper. And you got a little mix of everybody else here. So still some good diversity up here inside the top 10.
Yeah, and like I said, you see you got Schilling and, what is that, the 98 of Horn trying to get that high side working. You see further back, they were 3 wide momentarily. Oh, 41, wicked loose. He apron tagged it, was able to save it, but that puts him in a 3 wide situation coming off the corner right now. A little bit of contact as the 41's trying to stabilize. They're still 3 wide now, Jeremy. That's going to be Emmerich there. Finally goes back to 2 wide. That helps out having Howard back there, though. That was a teammate there, backed off, let the 23 of Emmerich pull back in line, get out of that sticky situation. regather it back up and go at it. And there you see Mark Sherwood. He's getting passed right now by the rest of the field. That was from that unsafe pit entry. Right now, the only thing that's going to save Mark is going to be a caution, and hoping he is that one truck, first truck 1 lap down. That's the only hope that he has right now, Jeremy. But the way these drivers are racing, given space, they may be 3 wide from time to time, but drivers usually allow them to back it down to go back to 2 wide. There's a lot of give and take. So the likelihood of that happening right now is greatly, greatly diminished from, races we've called in the past.
And as things have kind of calmed down, 8:55 p.m. Eastern Time in the server, we're going to take our first picture-in-picture commercial break, and we'll be back in just a few laps. And back to full screen here, and we are 42 laps almost in the books here. P1 on the board is the 41 Steven Smith. Last time by, this time it looks like to be the 98 of Jamie Horn. Excuse me, spoke too soon. Great launch off the top there from the 26 and 41 to put Steven yet another lap in the books as being your race leader. We're getting very close to the halfway mark here. And I'm gonna knock on wood before I say this comment. There are almost halfway, Dustin, without that elusive yellow.
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of it's because of that give and take. As you see, they're getting ready to come up and put Mike Lester a lap down now, so he's gonna go a lap down. So him and the 44 of Mark Sherwood are gonna be fighting each other. I want to say something about Steven Smith. No joke, about 5 laps ago, we seen him apron tag it and get wicked loose, 3 wide. He really had to slow up, and now he's up here battling the 98 of Jamie Horn, and he's leading the Hangover 250 right now. So what a bounce back from just 5 laps ago, and that's how quick it can turn around, Jeremy, as you see him go from the top side down to the bottom to lead that low line.
Doing a great job, a little bit of lane control this time. Going to leave De Matteo with the 46 Bradley Minor, teammates from One of One Motorsports. And they're going to be nose to nose down the back straightaway here, 26-41. leading the charge. And we just had our commercial break. I recognize that, but we don't have some sponsors that we can plug through there. So I'm going to do a quick shout out to Victory Fuel, also the hydration partner for the Nerditudes. Loads of electrolytes, absence of caffeine, and low sugar content, which basically makes it the perfect drink to have to stay, just get your energy up just a little bit. It's healthy, it's great tasting, and it's not a big can. It's a 12-ounce can. It's just enough for the perfect portion to have to enjoy, not just you, but the entire family. So if you want to grab your hands on some of this product, head yourself over to drinkvictory.com. Promotion code SUPERNERD. Going to save you 10% off your entire order.
Yeah, some of these drivers guarantee are going to want some Victory Fuel after this. As you see Dave Mateo moving down to that low line. His teammate in the 46, Brad Miner, on the high side. So right now, 1 of 1, controlling both lanes as they come off of turn 4, Jeremy. 45 laps in the book out of scheduled 100. Soon to start 46 as we go around this time, Jeremy. And again, a lot of give and take. I can't stress that enough. I am impressed with the drivers. They're giving a lot of give and take, a lot of space. Look at the spacing here, Jeremy. This is not something that we see when we race league throughout the week on Mondays or Saturdays. We don't see that space and that give and take. And the difference is those races, we see a lot more of those boomer button box cautions. This race, we haven't, knock on wood. Have not. So that's the big difference. There's give and take. Drivers have that end game in mind.
Sorry for that reaction. There's 77 as Shane wheeled and almost lost it in entrance to turn 3. Second truck on the top right behind 1 of 1 motorsports driver Bradley Miner. And that allowed the 26 and the 41 to temporarily get ahead of Bradley. But as they kind of regrouped, they're climbing back up into second place and potentially going to go side by side with Dan Mateo here on the back straightaway.
Yeah, a little bit of regroup, get it back going again. And like I said, that's not the first time we've seen that, Jeremy. That's at least the 3rd or 4th time we have seen a truck get loose, which again is not something we typically call at Daytona and Talladega. As you see, anytime he goes into a load in that corner, it seems like it's really weighing down on that right rear. So I don't know. That's obviously something with the custom setup that he has in. I would imagine that helps with cornering, but right now it seems like it's cornering maybe a little too well because that left cut seems like it's really catching the 77 Shane Wilden off guard sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. And Josh Raymond, probably 5 laps ago on YouTube, said, "Let's go 23. Come on, Tony." So referring to the 23 of Mr. Emmerich, and not having he was up front. He was up front, and right now he is currently residing, there he is, back in 18th place, 1.5 back of your race leader. So a bad round of pit stops for the 23 shuffled him out. And he's just riding in tow with his teammates. All nose to tail, those green spoilers from
this
the
is
front
planned.
on the first. This is planned.
Oh, totally planned. There's
information.
No inside information. There is no way that you have a team of 5 drivers that is running in the back and they are not running back there because they choose to be running back there. This is planned, Jeremy. We have done this with Nerd Esports from time to time as well. You trust me, this is not going to be the last time you see green spoilers up towards the front, prior to that first pit stop that we seen happen. This is just riding it out. This is playing that safe card. That's what this is, Jeremy.
They showed their dominance. They drove to the front. They got all their trucks in the very front before the green flag pit stops occurred. So they have the speed. So I guess since they proved their point now in a race situation, now they can just kind of chillax, take their time here before the second round of pit stops, which we got about, 15, 20 laps away from that?
Yeah, it's going to be 15 laps would put it at 65. That is probably going to be about about 15 or 20. It'd be 15 would be starting it at 65. 70 would be a stretch. So, again, as long as it goes, that should be the last time that these drivers hit pit road on that next pit stop. So right now, a lot of these drivers, Jeremy, are in cruise control, and that's why I say that Team Whatchamacallit, all 5 of those drivers, they're in cruise control playing that safe card back there. letting these drivers here kind of go up there. There's no point in doing it. Like you said, they've already proved their point. They found their way up there. They had the entire bottom lane, first through fifth on the bottom lane, was all locked up by their team. So they know they can do it. Now the goal is just make it to the end and put your cars there. As the 77 gets out of sorts again on that top side. And Jeremy, he's got to get that under control, or that's going to be catastrophic one of these times.
Yeah, no, not wrong at all. 4 on the top. Everybody else single file. They recognize that they're just trying to ride it out through the midpoint of this race. We did get to the halfway mark as of last time by. And so 50 down, 50 to go. At the line, it's going to be Bradley Minor, John DeMatteo, top 2. Let's kick it up, Dustin. Let's go. Nerd TV Top 10 recap. We're halfway down. We got a great moment in time in this race. Let's get it fired up. So Bradley Minor, 5th to first place, one of One Motorsports. He's got his teammate right behind him, John DeMatteo, from 1st to 2nd. So he's been very familiar with this top 5 all night long. 3rd place, Steven Smith. Big jump here, 18th to 3rd. So that's plus 15 positions from the 41 machine. You got Shane Wheeldon currently in 4th. He's up 8 spots from 12th to 4th. First truck on the outside, making some moves here. Jamie Horn in the 98, up 12 positions. And then you got Patrick Gentner in the 75. He's in 6th place at the moment. Jason Schilling in the 95, labeled 7th last time by. Joshua Slade in 8th place. He's up 8 spots from his starting spot. 9th, Danny White in the 64. He's up 11 positions. And then the last person in this top 10, Abram Ghostin, did not post a practice time, did not post a qualifying time. His first lap tonight was under green flag situation, and he is in 10th place right now.
Yeah, and like I said, what I'm seeing right now, Jeremy, is a lot of big movers in that top 10. You're talking plus 15 for Smith, plus 12 for Horn, 12 for Schilling, 12 for White, 14 for Ghostin. So a lot of big movers from their qualifying spots up there right now, occupying that top 10. And if you even go one back, Stephen Knight in 11th is up 11 spots from his starting spot. So a lot of big movers there right now, and a lot of the drivers that started up in that top 10, they're now slotted in 12th on back.
Yeah, they really are, and I'm just amazed. The drivers' meeting was all about, having some fun, but also keeping it clean. That was the theme, and you're seeing it. It is just amazing what kind of race they're putting on right now. The teamwork is impeccable. You see some league races where, teamwork, they share setups, they share notes, but they don't usually run this well together. But if you look at the spoilers, you got a bunch of American flag spoilers on the bottom, nose to tail. You got one of one, nose to tail. Lazy Lizard on the top, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th trucks on the top. All the same teammates. And then you see Grim Reaper behind them, a bunch of yellows. And then you got whatchamacallit, all in the greens. They're just so well paced with one another. They're doing a hell of a job so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And Josh Raymond on the YouTube says, they waiting to make the move. And that's exactly what our prediction is they are just waiting in the wings to make their move. Because, you take a look at it. We got a lot of fast drivers that we know are fast back there. Stephen Knight is back there in 11th. You got Bobby Mantle in 12th. Chad McGinley in 15th. And then you got all of team whatchamacallit from 16th back to 20th right now. Those are all drivers that were up leading this race. We know that they can do that. They are all sitting back there just waiting out for this last pit stop. Once they know that they do not have to hit pit road again, that's when you're going to see them take off. They're going to use that last 30 laps or so, and they're just going to drop the hammer and haul balls Cole Trickle style.
Oh, there you go. I have a sound bed. I don't have it keyed up for it right now, but I can load that if you would like me to. But,
do it!
Your wish is my command. I just got to find a button here, but still 4 on the top. And there they go.
There you go. Dropping the hammer. That's what they're waiting on, though, Jeremy. Like I said, it's Nerd Esports has done that, and the number of seasons we've been super speedway racing over the last year. Yourself, Brian, KB, and myself. We've all waited in the back and then made that burst effort there to try to trek to the front. It works out a lot of times. Every once in a while, you get caught up in some questionable situations that you probably don't want to be caught in the middle of, but it's kind of the, give and take, pros and cons of, riding in the back and taking that safe car. But Jeremy, a lot of trucks lining up on that inside, only 2 left to the outside. That's going to be Ghostin and Sherwood right now that are on the outside. Well, Horn jumps to the outside, so that tells me pit stops going to be coming here relatively soon, Jeremy. Like I said, I would say probably within the next 7 to 10 laps, right around there.
Yeah, probably a great average number there to kind of eyeball for the final pit stop. Of course, you want to have a little bit in the tank for any green-white checkers that might find themselves late in this run in tonight's Hangover 250. See the 12, Joshua Slade leading the top, Jamie Horn second truck there. They're about 7th and 8th place at the moment. 3 trucks on the top. A little early to be single file, but they recognize this is the middle of the race. There's no need to do anything dumb. And so very clean nose to tail racing still to be had as we're getting close to ending lap number 58, coming to 59. So almost 60% completed here this evening.
Yep, getting close to that lap 60 marker out of scheduled 100 rotations around the Mecha Dome that is Daytona International Speedway. So again, these drivers, I hats off to all these drivers. Even with this 3 wide situation with the 54 of Brody Marinko, gave a lot of room there to allow drivers to get by. But again, Jeremy, just waiting it out. Pit stops are coming, and again, they're going to be just as vital as the first one, if not more vital than that first one. Because this one here, you don't have, if you make a mistake, you don't have that many laps to make it up now. Whereas if you made a mistake on that first one and you kind of slowed up a little bit and you were, found yourself in the back on accident, not on purpose like some of the drivers are doing, but on accident, you still had, 2/3 of the race to make that up. If you make a mental mistake this time, that puts you at the back of the pack, you've got 30 laps or less to try to get back up there. And that's not going to be with straight line racing like this here where everybody's lined up on the bottom like what you see right now. That's going to be with it being too wide, which is going to slow your progress down. And heaven forbid if you make a mistake where you get an unsafe pit entry like Mark Sherwood or a speeding violation, unless there's a caution, he might as well throw your race out the door.
There's a secondary race I've been kind of eyeballing here the past 5 laps or so, and that's going to be your first place truck 1 lap down. That's going to be the 6 of Michael Lester versus the 44 of Mark Sherwood, who had the penalty. 6, of course, was the one who spun out on that same pit stop cycle. And they're just almost neck and neck right now. The 44 moved out to the top. He gained 2 spots, and now your lap down trucks are nose to nose, now nose to tail, as Sherwood makes the pass on the top. Even though they're 1 lap down, this is your lucky dog spot up for grabs, and these 2 are not holding back.
No. And you know what? They have every right to. They're racing not only for position, they're racing for lucky dog. That's for 21st and 22nd right now. So it's for position and it's for lucky dog. They got every right to go out there and race. And you know what? They're racing smart, racing clean. But this is that race within a race that we always talk about, Jeremy. There's always so much more going on, away from surface level that a lot of people don't realize is actually going on. It's not just the race that's going on. It's the calculating the fuel mileage. It's calculating the pit strategy. It's calculating, when you're going to come into pit. It's calculating points. There's a whole point battle that's going on. Gains, losses. It's also calculating if you've got drivers that are a lap down, who is the truck a first one a lap down? I have to be in front of that driver just in case the caution comes out so I can get back into competition and try to gain more spots.
That is indeed true there, and I'm going to shout out our other partner that does not have a commercial with us, RaceEPI.com, Elite Performance Industries. These guys... I tried to guess what you were going to say, my man, and I messed that one up. I threw Dusty Pete's up because that's typically one of the ones you go with. Yeah, that's right.
And you changed it up and threw EPI up, which is perfectly fine. But yeah, see, even Jeremy throws me for a loop sometimes.
Keeping Dustin on the edge as always. 20 years down on that, and plenty more to go in that department. So Race EPI, the correct logo on your screen. Some of the best setups iRacing has to offer. Not iRacing specifically, but the guys, the ones at Race EPI that are building these setups day in, day out, showcasing not only the setups for download, but they're always talk about it on Discord of the stats of how many races they win each and every single week. And it is impressive, the numbers that pop up in their stat book. And so if you'd like to join in that community on just winning races in general and running in the front quite more often, head yourself over to raceepi.com. And great prices because of the fact that you're going to be doing much better in the sim world in the open setup stuff. So once again, it's raceepi.com.
Yeah, and setups are so vital, especially in leagues like this here. We broadcast open setup leagues, we broadcast fixed setup leagues. RSR is a fixed setup league, but when you get into races like this here, setups can make or break a performance big time. Especially, at Daytona and Talladega, it may not seem like it, but you can have some setups that are just flat rockets. And then you tally that up and combine that with the help of your teammates out there, which is ever vital at these plate races. That can make or break somebody's finish.
It really can. It really, really can. And like tonight, you see the teamwork. You saw whatchamacallit drive from the back to the front. That's all setup based, and that's stuff that you're going to find, especially at Race EPI, Elite Performance Industries. And look at this stuff. They're just single filed. We're on lap 65. You said this is where the pit window opens the second time around, which is indeed true. They can make the distance. They're probably going to go a couple extra just to leave some overtime in the tank if they need to reach out for it.
Look at that straight line, Jeremy. Look at that.
It is a very formal straight line. You might think that's not a straight line. They're all over the place on the bottom. No, that's to keep the trucks cool. That's to keep things in order. And they're spaced out on top of that too. Look at the gaps a little bit here. Just so clean and professional these guys are. They know you can't push the pusher. And you just, it might not be the most exciting race, but for someone who's a lifelong racing fan, you appreciate the professionalism out here on the track.
Oh, it does. I mean, the racecraft and the sportsmanship out here, it takes a lot because, anybody can sit here and be fast at Daytona and Talladega. That's why a lot of drivers like it, but it takes a special type of racecraft and sportsmanship to, you know what, I'm not going to sit here and pinch that guy. I'm going to give room. I'll tackle him here in a lap or two. I'll get another chance. It's not worth causing a wreck because a wreck at this track is not like a wreck at Chicagoland or, Atlanta or anything else. Well, Atlanta now with the new configuration, yeah, maybe it is. Old Atlanta, we'll say. You have a wreck here, it has a high percentage. It's not just going to be a 2 or 3 car or truck, involved wreck. It's one that could have implications on the entire field. We have seen wrecks at these tracks, Jeremy, and been involved in them to where that track is just completely blocked up. You can't stop, and it's almost like Blues Brothers cops, man. They just keep piling it in. And before you know it, 3/4 of the field has some type of damage or other from that wreck.
Just like what they did on the opening section of the race where they left pit road. They just kept piling into one another and caused 6 trucks to have damage. Don't need that. 75 dips down, that's Gittner. And momentarily the 6th Lester. He's a couple trucks back from the 44. Not in the position he needs to be for the lucky dog spot. Mark Sherwood has that in hand right now, just in case if there is a different colored flag other than green here tonight. And here we go, 12, 26, 46. Only 3 trucks, much different scene than what we saw the first round.
Yeah, not a bad call, though. So here's the takeaway on this. 1, trucks are not coming in by themselves. They have draft help. If they can sit here and lock up, they can be good. They can lock up because they're teammates. That's all one of One Motorsports coming in. 2, they can make it to the end. 3, they don't have to worry about battling 12 other trucks coming into pit road like what we seen during the first one. So they're going to go out there and start putting down some laps and try to make up the difference. We have seen short pitting work out tremendously, Jeremy. In a lot of league races that we've been in, it's a lot of times the drivers that come in first, as long as they can lock up nose to tail, they're usually ahead of the rest of the pack. As here comes the second pack right now. Looks like 4 takers this time, Jeremy.
Yep, and it looks like are they all teammate? No, I think they're 2 and 2 as far as the teammates go. So 3 trucks down the first lap, 4 trucks down the second lap, and he was driving through a crazy amount of pit stalls there. Hopefully that's a-okay on the league side of things. But look at this, the lap down truck 44 leading this thing, technically not a lap down, just because he's leading the race. That means Michael Lester and Mark Sherwood could both advance if it goes under yellow right now.
Yeah, right now Mark Sherwood's at the tail end of the lead lap, about to go a lap down, but I don't see EJ Luna pushing the issue. That is a teammate that's out front there, as we have more takers coming down right now. Looks like Gentner and Wilden are coming down, as well as Lester's coming down. So we got 3 takers coming down this time. And again, as long as you come down with help, Jeremy, you should be all right. But that's going to put Lone Star, all 4 trucks, out front right now, 1st through 4th, as they run on the track. Obviously, we know that the 44 of Mark Sherwood is not for position, but that's 4 positions on the track, locked up nose to tail. You look further back, you got Knight, Mantle, and McGinley. Grim Reaper Motorsports locked up 3 trucks. And then you look further back, 7th through 11th, you have all of Team Whatchamacallit, nose to tail. And I would expect these drivers to be coming down right about now, Jeremy.
And here comes basically everybody else here, 4 wide at the yellow cones. Better get this thing cycled through. Like 64, he's going to cross over Clinton White. The 79 Knight has to cross in front of Chad McGinley, his teammate. Close call from 2 different entrances to their pit stalls, and everybody else files in. Pretty clean, other than a couple close calls there.
Yeah, and now take a look at the 3 drivers that came in first. They are hitting turn 3 right now. Clayton White still in his pit stall. Left side going up as it is right now. And there you see they start to file out. They just hit that pit road exit speed. These guys are coming through the tri-oval. These guys are at a full head of steam right now. So they're coming full blast as they go down. You see that they are just entering turn 1. So Jeremy, at this rate here, these drivers should have enough of speed to be able to overtake your race leader, Bobby Mantles. He's still working his way off of turn 2. Just now hits that to where they can merge up on the track. And here comes the rest of the pack right now. Oh, no! Brad Miner into the wall.
We stay green. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, man, he saved that, too. I don't know what happened. Just looked like a little bit of a pinch coming up. We're going to find out. Brad Miner goes down. Oh! He went down and Ghost and cut up, made a little bit of contact, and then he come right back up into what looks like, is that the 41? Or no, that's a 95 of Schilling. Come back up into Schilling, but they all keep it straight, but lost a lot of speed, unfortunately. Here comes Brad Miner. He's coming in, so that truck has got damage on it enough to where he cannot continue without some repairs. Unfortunate break for the 46 of Brad Miner.
Yeah, Abram Ghost into the 25. That was the one who went from bottom to top, barely clipped the right rear quarter panel of 101 Motorsports driver Bradley Miner. Excellent job saving it, but he just did not turn back down enough to clear. And that was it. So he's in back down pit road, fix some damage, and get some tires. Those things are shot now. And look at this field. It's a little bit smaller. Still got a lot of good solid racing within it. But here we go, 27 laps to go at the line, led by none other than the second most winningest driver in 2024 at the Global Sim Racing Truck Series, Joshua Slade.
Yeah, and you were talking about a smaller field right here, Jeremy. I see some teams that are missing some drivers. We know 101 Motorsports is out of driver. Brad Miner's in the pits right now. So that shorts them a team driver. I see 2 less green spoilers there than what we did before. So there's only 3 green spoilers that are up here in this pack right now. So that's actually going to be the 14 of Clayton White. And then right by... Actually, no, there's only going to be... What, is that 2? Yeah, I'm only seeing 1, 2... There's only 2 green spoilers. So they're missing 3 of their drivers. that they came down pit road with. I still see yellow spoilers there, so there's at least there's at least two Grim Reapers. So this is going to kind of shake, rattle, and roll this whole running order up right now. As now you see drivers are starting to cycle through. Chad McGinley finds himself up there. So all three Grim Reaper Motorsports drivers are in this pack. It's just they're separated from front to back.
Yeah, there's two more that are directly behind this pack, about 3 seconds at most, and it's a 3-truck thing. There's Mark Sherwood in the 44, 23 of Anthony Emmerich, and John Howard in the 78. They're just kind of riding single file around this place, waiting for maybe another incident to happen up at the front here. But now the 64, Danny White led last time, now passed. I think this is Chad McGinley's first lap led here with 25 laps to go.
Yeah, yep, it definitely is. First time you've seen the 65 at the top of the charts since the drop of the green flag. First lap led, but that's what we were talking about, you know, taking it easy. 25 to go, Jeremy. Now it's time to go ahead and key it up. It's time to drop that hammer because there ain't no holding back now.
Yes, he is. 65, 99, 99. Remember, he was drafting a couple different trucks really early on this race and was doing a hell of a job doing it. And now he's got McGinley, on average, the fastest driver in the Global Racing League Truck Series. And he's doing a great job. But look at this run. Gentner crosses over. He's going to jump in front of the number 65, take the lead on the inside leg. Clayton White, who's been up at the top lane almost this entire race, is back to the helm, followed by Bobby Mantle in 89 down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and Clayton White up there again, remember, is, you know, they were all sitting back there, all of Team Whatchamacallit, which John Howard and Anthony Emmerich have caught the draft, so excellent teamwork there. They have caught the draft back up, so that's going to put Grim Reaper Motorsports at full capacity to who's running on the track in this pack and Team Whatchamacallit. But they were sitting in the back, and now they're taking off. They're going to the front. You see the 14 of Clayton White, the 99 of Austin McGill. They're all on the team. You see all of Grim Reaper Motorsports in that shot right there. All the yellow spoilers were there. So these are the drivers that, Jeremy, were literally at the tail end of the pack just riding. And now look at what happened. It's completely flip-flopped. These drivers are now at the front.
Yep, yeah. A lot of side by side. A lot of lane shifting. Clayton White to the bottom. He's going to jump in front of Patrick there from Lazy Lizard Racing. And now the 89 of Mantle is going to have his chance to lead maybe his first lap here at Daytona as we're approaching lap 80 of 100. It's going to be 22 laps to go at the line, and Jamie Horn all over the back bumper, the 89.
Yeah, he's all over the back bumper. You see the 75 of Gintner get a little out of sorts. That's going to allow the 89 and 98. Ironic that the numbers are just reversed on that one there to pull nose to nose with Clayton White. Clayton White's going to get that push on that bottom side, though. And it's going to be like this, Jeremy, from now until the checkered flags. These drivers are going to be giving it everything they can and doing everything they can to maintain the positions if you're Clayton White or to gain positions if you're every other truck behind that 14.
Team Whatchamacallit trying to get this high side moving to get their other two drivers that caught the draft back up inside the top 5. They're just a little congested by all this 2x2x2. They're going to have to open that third lane up if they want to make some strong advancements here at the very end of this event. So looking on back, Patrick Gentner moves up to the middle lane, almost makes contact, I think, with Jamie Horn, the 98, on the back half of the tri-oval. And coming off the turn number 2, we got one truck, the one that was involved in the wreck earlier with Bradley Minor. He's up the top. They're going to make him go 3 wide. That's the 54. He stays right up against the outside wall. They stay clear.
Yeah, and again, excellent draft racing right now as they're working through. And Jeremy, we have a couple teams. So many of the teams have had at least one win this season so far. We know Grim Reaper has had a win. We know One of One Motorsports has had a win. The former Ghost Motorsports, they had a win as well. You got 2 teams right now that are leading on that bottom lane that have not got a win this season yet, and they would love to break through with a victory here at the Hangover 250, and that's Team Whatchamacallit and Lazy Lizard. Both teams would love to end tonight with a dub.
Great opportunity. These guys have been up front all race long.
I forgot, Lone Star has a win too. My bad, didn't mean to interrupt.
Yes, Lone Star definitely. I think they have 2 wins.
Yeah, I know one of them was a fantastic Talladega finish there, scraping against the wall on the high side. So I know that was one of them.
I'm pretty sure EJ has one. But either way, they all got some wins other than the 2 you notated. The green spoilers, whatchamacallit, and the blue of Lazy Lizard. And those 2 teams are leading the bottom right now. Lazy at the point with Patrick Gentner. 14 Clayton White with the green. But the yellow spoilers are starting to surround this top 5 a little bit more and more. Gonna make them fight for it with all they got.
Oh yeah, and you see this pack now is much tighter than what we have seen all race long, with 19 circuits to go around this track. We had seen a lot of space, a lot of give and take for 80 laps, and Jeremy, they are nose to tail. They are pushing these temperature gauges and these engines to the peak. Go on board right now inside with Clayton White. We're going to kind of take a look to see what it takes to draft around some of these tracks.
See the wheel movement here as they pass the 46 of Bradley Minor, squeezing him 3 wide. He's going to stay to the very top of the track. Very smooth wheel through 1 and 2. Very smooth exit. Tips the nose out just a touch. The inside is very, very formal right now. Not much movement at all to be had for the most part of these drivers. As soon as I say that, ooh, the 14 White gets up right next to the Bobby Mantle's door panel. Do not make contact. 75-14, 2 trucks, single file on the bottom.
Yeah, single file on the bottom. And like I said, racing is getting very tight right now. Teammates side by side. You look at McGinley, he kind of floats up about a half a truck width off of that yellow line there. You know, and that could help out the 99 of McGill. That gets a little bit more air on his left front, cools down that oil a little bit. But it does slow down as you see the 14. Clayton White jumps to the high side. That's going to leave the 75 of Ginter down low. And look at the push that the 14 is getting from Bobby Mantle down that super stretch right now. As they sail it off into 3, 14 dives down. Lane control on the bottom by the 14.
Good move there. Now to check up the inside. It actually is going to help them with the move down. So 1475 single file right now. Bobby Mantle has a great chance with 98 Jamie Horn right behind him once more to try to get them into second, if not first place. We got 16 laps to go here. And Dustin, now you can put up that logo that you put up a little bit ago. Dusty Pete's Gifts and Collectibles, your official hobby shop for the Nerditudes. It's based out of New York, and they have everything nerdy. So you got thousands of comic books, you got action figures, collectible cards, got some NASCAR stuff for the NASCAR nerds out here. Just everything that you want to complete your collection. So head yourself over to DustyPete's.com after tonight's race. And anything you purchase online, you're going to save 15% off your order of $20 or more.
Yeah, and close call there by the 14. He got out of sorts and was able to collect it back up, but he's going to lose 2 positions. That's going to put McGinley and Mantle up there on the top 2 spots. First and second on the inside line, and look at what it jumbled up the rest of the field, so they're going to have to close it back in. And yes, Josh Raymond on YouTube, this is amazing racing. They're about to start pushing it 3 wide. It's going to happen. It will have to happen, especially for some of these drivers that are slotted further back, like at the tail end of the top 10. If they're wanting to make moves to try to get up to make a bid for this win, it's going to have to go 3 wide, and that's when you're going to see stuff getting real hairy real fast.
Yellow spoilers leading the top and bottom this lap around. We'll still be given the 14 laps to go here for the hangover 250. Right where Grim Reaper wants to be, right where they've been all season long, toward the front of the race. But the green spoilers are all mingling within the top 10. They still got a great chance. The orange spoilers, however, they're mid-pack in this major pack. The first one is EJ Luna outside the top 5. As the 14 shifts up to the top, jumps in front of Chad McGinley. He's going to make a quick move past the 89. What a move by Clayton.
Yeah, that was a power move. He was waiting for that door to open there, and the second it was, he made that move. But yeah, you're right. Lone Star is slotted further back right now. EJ Luna is sitting right now, P9, and he's got the rest of the team there. So we were talking about that 3 wide. These are drivers right now that if they want to start making moves, that third lane may be their option. And it may be their only option at this point because of the way that the drivers are controlling the lanes up front. It's going to be tough, Jeremy. It really is. And Josh, I will take that comment and appreciate that. He says, you guys are a great duo on the commentary. We've known each other for a lot of years, so we have a lot of fun doing this, that's for sure. But we appreciate that.
I'm terrible. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, thank you, though. thank you. And yeah, I would not be surprised if I see that 3 wide happen at any moment in time. They've had an excellent clean race. So if they jump up there and cause a wreck, I'm not going to discredit it. It's been an excellent ride so far. 12 laps to go at the line. New leader, that's going to be so close. Dustin Clayton White by 1/1000th of a second over Chad McGinley. 14 leads that lap.
And I would not be surprised if the race finish at the checkered flag is that close at the way these guys are going. And it could be even closer. We could have a third truck in the mix up there as well if somebody is gutsy enough and confident enough to take it to that third lane. And it's not just the driver that takes it to the third lane that has to have the confidence. They have to have the confidence in the drivers behind them because they have to stick it out and they got to make the move fast because that third line dies out very, very fast as you see Chad McGinley powers in front of the 14 to take over the race lead again.
Yeah, the first 3 trucks single file now. Chad McGinley, Clayton White, and Bobby Mantle. 11 laps remaining. And getting more and more closer to that finish. Bobby Mantle moves to the top. He's going to try to keep the yellow spoilers leading both lanes. Gettner, McGill, they're going to do a great run off a turn 2 exit. Oh, Gettner does make it happen. He clears him barely in front of Bobby. Now it's going to put Lazy Lizard running the top side once more.
Yeah, back to the top side again, and that was bound to happen. That second lane move was so far back. If it wasn't going to be the 75, I'm telling you it was going to be the 14. One of those two was going to jump to that high side. But right now, it just killed it. And if they do this right, the 99 and the 14 can jump to that high side and get it going. And just as I say that, look at that almost on cue, Jeremy. They jump to that high side, and there's that parachute effect we were talking about on the 65 of McGinley.
Yeah, the parachute full force right there. You see it. They set him up so good. They gave him the Gapplebees. They went to the top. He got shot back like 3 to 5 miles an hour, and they took back over. But they went back to the bottom, and Lazy Lizard won 2 on the top now. Actually, I'm sorry. That's first. That's Gettner. Bobby Mantle still second on the top there, pushing the 75. They're going to have 9 laps to go at the line. Who's it going to be at the line? Is it the 14? Is it the 75? And it looks like McGill is going to be, once again, the dominant push. Are going to help the 14 to the race lead.
Yeah, and I see something kind of going on, Jeremy. I've seen on the back stretch and on this front stretch on the 2 dog legs, they're in the tri-oval. That 12 has been peeking his nose to that third lane. And what he's doing, he's trying to see if there's going to be any takers. If I peek my nose out there and I see trucks moving with me, then I know I got some takers. If I don't, then I'm staying in line right now. And there you go. They're peeking again. Not enough. He doesn't feel comfortable with it. But I'm telling you, Jeremy, it's coming. 9 laps to go. We already have drivers testing the waters on that high side, that third lane.
Danny White is not even trying to hide it. He was full force up on the top, ready to go. So if him and Slade can get hooked up, they just need a couple extra partners. Oh, Danny White gets loose or gets tagged weird. He shoots to the bottom, does not hit anybody, so thankful for that. 8 laps to go here this time. There's Danny looking to the third groove once more. A lot of shifting. Danny back to the top again. Gonna have to check up. He is really wanting to get something going, but they need more than 2. They need at least 4 or 5 to do anything, and there goes Slade back once more, peeking.
Yeah, they're peeking to see what it is, Jeremy, and what they could be testing as well is the runs off the corner. You want to time this right to get that run off the corner down the straight, and here we go, 3 wide, Joshua Slade, who's been peeking all night, up to that high side. The 98 jumps and just chokes that run there. 98 of Jamie Horn just killed the run there, and I don't know if they're going to be able to rebound back from that, Jeremy. Everything is so momentum based on that top side. There was only 2 trucks there. It's going to take a lot. Bobby Mantle looks to the high side. 75 of Ginter moves up a line. Now Mantle down to the inside. Oh, contact. Oh, and here we go. There it is. 2, 3, 4 trucks. There's your boomer button box caution right there, Jeremy.
6 trucks involved on this rack on lap 94. And that was the 3-wide block to the middle groove that set the 75 loose into turn number 1, overcorrects, and does what I did last night at iRacing Super Speedway. Destroys the outside wall, head-on collision. Thankfully, he's in a virtual machine, but we're going to go to the Nerd TV replay and take a look here at quite a few angles of this thing. You notated, Dustin, the 75 went up. Here comes Bobby Mantle back to the bottom. Perfectly good move. But then the 75 blocks a little late. And actually, no, never mind. Mantle got loose, overcutting the wheel. Great camera angle there.
Yeah, that was something we did not see. And actually the 75 was too, because it looked like the 75, we go back and look, the 75 did go to turn down, and you'll see his truck kick to the side as well. So he's going to go to turn down towards that groove, and there his truck is kicking to the left a little bit, and that's when contact was made. And then all hell just broke loose. Slade involved in that one there. Mantle, Howard. So number of drivers, and that's what we were talking about. You have to have that confidence in, drivers doing that. And the golden rule, Jeremy, is, blocking is always tough. Blocking, it typically does not work out in the best, because a lot of drivers will time this to where there is no room for a block. And right there, that was a hard cut, and he does come back up into him. I don't even know if the 75 really blocked on that one, Jeremy, from that camera angle.
Yeah, what I'm notating is he came down just a touch, but he actually kind of moved back. Like, he didn't want to make the block. He just watched that seam. He gets closer and closer to it, but then he starts to turn away from it right before the contact happened. So the 75 recognized it was not going to work, and that little shift back up the track from Bobby Mantle clipped him in the left rear, and that's all she wrote there. And a couple of drivers, thankfully, to be skipping through this one. Joshua Slade, he was involved, but I don't think he received heavy damage to the 12. I think he's going to be okay to the end of the race. Elects not to pit this time. You see him on the track right now. The 6, Michael Lester, gets the lucky dog between him and Mark Sherwood. So the 6 will be back on the lead lap. 18 trucks on that lead lap when we get the green flag, which will be, I think, 3 laps to go.
Yeah, a little bit of damage on the front nose crinkle. You see a little bit of gap in the hood and that front valence grill panel that can slow you down, unfortunately, because it's going to be like a piece of plywood up there, but it's not substantial. If he can sit here and tuck that nose up underneath somebody else and just push, I'm not saying it's not a winning contention truck, because anything can happen, but he can definitely push. If he tucks that up underneath the truck and just gives that truck everything it's got, he can still have a damn good finish tonight.
Still definitely can. 9:42 p.m. server time here at Daytona. So the sun's clearly down. Things are cooling off a little bit. So 81 degrees is your track surface temp. Still 8-mile-an-hour winds. Mostly cloudy, but that doesn't matter because the sun's down. But that's your weather stats right now. Inside 10 laps to go. 14 is going to be leading this thing. McGill, who has been running so strong with Clayton, will have to run to the opposite lane that the 14 chooses to restart in. Chad McGinley, EJ Luna is going to be row 2. Joshua Slade, Stephen Hayes is your row 3 here for this restart. We should see the caution lights turn off this time by. So we'll definitely make it a 3-lap shootout here to the. I said earlier, Dustin, I was not going to discredit anything if there was going to wreck, and I still don't. They had such a great race. Things just happen to happen at the end of these things, and no discredit there.
Yeah, it's a product of pack race, and it really is. It's just, is it a kick to the cojones a little bit because you were that close to a caution-free super speedway plate race event? Yeah, it is. It is. It's kind of a buzzkill on that one there, but still nothing for these drivers to hang their head low on, because they went, like I said, 95, 96 laps. Well, yeah, 95, 94, 95 laps, Jeremy, caution free, which is a huge compliment to all the drivers out here competing tonight. Now, this is where it's going to get real hairy, Jeremy, because we're going to come back with 3 laps to go. We've got teammates controlling both lanes. A lot of hungry drivers behind that front row right now. A lot of fast drivers. Any one of these drivers can walk away with the victory tonight. We don't even know what to call. We can sit here and say, based on performance, who we feel has a better chance. But, Jeremy, it is the world's worst game of lottery right now for these final 3 laps.
There's going to be so much shifting around. Remember, you can't switch lanes, I do believe, till after the start-finish line. Then it's no holds barred. Go 3 wide, go 4 wide, whatever you got to do. Just make sure you do not go below that double yellow line, because that will be illegal. But I'm curious to see how McGill does as the race leader on the top. I've not seen EJ second in line. I don't know what his pushing setup looks like. McGill obviously really fast behind somebody. I'm not sure what he's going to do as the leader. So here we go. Pace truck is down. 3 laps to go in the Geico restart zone. And there we go. Green flag. McGill, a little bit of a tire spin maybe. The 14 white. Oh, the 99 shifted down a little bit prior. Hopefully that's okay. He's going to go peeking back once more. Maybe wants to go to the outside of Clayton. Does not elect to do so. Single file top 4.
Yeah, and what these guys are going to do, they're going to wind it up, Jeremy. That's what they're wanting to do. Get it wound up, try to get as much space as possible. Right now, McGinley is the lone man out, because teammates typically are not going to leave other teammates out, especially if they're going to get passed by another team that is there. But now that the pack is catching up, this is where you're going to start seeing drivers move and shake around. You're going to see lane changes. They're going to be fast and abrupt lane changes right now. Look at Slade trying to get up there. He's now in that 3rd position with that front nose damage. He's got his teammate De Matteo behind him, and there goes McGill. McGill going to the outside, leaving Clayton White to the inside. That's going to be a parachute down to the bottom right now. So, again, that high line now led by the 99 of McGill. But you know, McGinley is not going to stay back behind there for long. That is for sure.
I thought McGinley was going to turn Austin there in the trial. Will give him an offset bump. I thought it was over. Oh, he's going to try to squeeze the 3rd gap. He does so. He's going to put the 65 leading the top lane right now. Green spoilers 1-2 on the inside lane here. 1.5 laps to go.
1.5 laps to go, and if I was McGinley, I would be a little worried. You got that high line starting to come in. You got 2 team drivers for Lone Star Racing behind you. Be very easy for them to sit here and pull to the outside and leave you in that sucker hole. So right now, it is very, very tricky right now. Elevated Esports Racing, 1 lap to go. We will end this one on the next time by the start-finish line. McGinley leads the top side. McGill leads the bottom side. Who's going to get it?
Oh, man, these green... Oh, McGinley squeaks in there. Does McGill move to the top? He's got the opportunity. If he wants to win, he's going to have to do it.
He has to.
He's peeking.
He has to.
He's still got opportunity. He looks. He's going to not take it. 2, 3, and 4. 3, 4 wide in the back. Dustin, we got a 1/4 of a lap left to go. 99 still stuck to the the bumper there. And that's going to be... Oh, there's the late move. Blocks. 14 to the inside. Chad McGinley, 7th win of the season, gets hooked by McGill, and there's going to be no burnout from the 65. That truck is destroyed, and here we go. Just complete chaos after the start-finish line. But at the end of the day, 65 once more, race winner.
Yeah, 65 race winner, and it just... Austin McGill waited too long. It's... You don't have that extra space going down the front stretch like you do at Talladega. You have to be making your move going into turn 3. You can, out of turn 4, if you've got a real big head of steam, you can make it happen out of turn 4. But he didn't have that because he pushed McGinley so far ahead. So with as far ahead as he had pushed him, he had to start making his move and pulling out to slow up McGinley going into turn 3. I mean, that was the make or break on that one there. And if we ask Austin if he would have done something different, I guarantee you his answer is going to be, I wish I would have made my move sooner than what I did.
Yeah, absolutely. There, and the two guys that are commenting on the broadcast tonight, Dustin Franklin saying, "Go EJ, go." Top three. You're going to talk to him tonight. It's in the post race there. EJ Luna, third place. And then Josh Raymond, sorry. Your driver 23, Anthony Emmerich, 16th place after that finish here tonight. So one in the top five and one deep in the pack. And we're going to go over the unofficial results here for the entire field. Chad McGinley, P1. Austin McGill, second. EJ Luna, third. Clayton White, fourth. Stephen Hayes in fifth. John DeMatteo, sixth. Stephen Knight, 7th. Joshua Slade, 8th place. John Howard in 9th. Danny White files out your top 10. 11th on back is Stephen Smith, Shane Wielden, Ron Harrington, Jason Schilling, Abram Ghostin, Anthony Emmerich. Jamie Horn is your final truck on the lead lap, P17, 18th on back, 1 lap down or more. That's Mark Sherwood, Michael Lester, Bradley Miner, Bobby Mantle, Patrick Gentner, Brody Marinko, Ronald Holmes, and Kenny Heath files out the 25 truck lineup tonight. You see teammates doing things.
I think he's trying to assist him back to the start-finish line there. I don't think he can turn, so I think Steve Knight's trying to help him to get around that right-hander going backwards in the tri-oval there.
They just park it right on the start-finish line, I guess. Nope, he's going to go. I don't know where he's going. Are you parking it in the text, or are you
There you got it.
Opportunity right here.
There you got it.
There you go, Josh Williams, it right there, somewhere in the grass, without any purpose. Well, there you are. So we're going to go full screen, commercial break, gather up our top three as we're doing burnouts around our race winner. We'll be right back. And back here to the Martin Sports post-race show, we got one driver keyed up right now in the waiting room. That's third place finisher. We'll see if we can get Austin McGill and Chad McGinley. But at the time being, we got Mr. EJ Luna. Welcome back to podium, sir.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you.
Yeah, man. Excellent race. The teamwork out there was unbelievable, not just for your team, but all the teams. Very respectful race out there. One caution at the very end. That's just natural of any super speedway style event. But for your team at Lone Star and yourself specifically, what was the conversations and the teamwork heading into this event?
Well, the teamwork was just basically go as far as we could on the field run just until that last stint where we're just going to push it all the way. That last pit stop was actually a really good cycle for us. It kept us. I mean, we were still all bunched up, but once we all hooked up, I mean, Lone Star was pretty strong tonight. So shout out to those guys for sticking with it.
Yeah, absolutely there. And walk us to that final lap there. It looked like at one point you had an opportunity, maybe have 99 jump in front of you. You had teammates behind you. So what more did you need to jump 2 more positions?
Man, I was committed to the outside line from the drop of the green flag on the last restart. So I was just hoping my teammate could push me past everybody, but unfortunately, whenever we would build those runs, we had some trucks jump out in front of us, so it kind of stalled us out. But I mean, we still managed to sneak out of here with the podium. So I mean, and Steve also got a top 5. Danny managed to squeak out in top 10. So I'm actually happy with our results.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 in that top 10 there from Lone Star, man. Congratulations there once more. Back to podium here tonight at Daytona. Floor is yours. Final thoughts before we let you go.
Shout out to the league global. We all did really well tonight. I had a lot of fun. Everybody tuned into the broadcast. You guys at Nerdtudes, thank you for putting this on, and thanks for everybody tuning in. Y'all have a good night.
You do the same, man. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
That was 24 there. EJ Luna, Pepsi Cola, Chevrolet Silverado. And now we're going to turn our attention. I think this is the first time we've talked to Austin McGill since a year plus ago. Austin McGill, congratulations on second place.
Thank you.
Hey, man, it's been a while since we've talked to you from a different league, I do believe. But excellent run here tonight. It seemed like you had probably the best truck to push another truck in the lead. So kind of just walk us through on how you built that setup with the teammates and how we were to execute so well.
Yeah, just a lot of practice, a lot of working on the setup, making sure it's stable when we want to push each other, not getting moved around too much when you get hit. I mean, there's not much more I could say. Andrew Navarro did a great job building this setup. PRS setups are quick every week, so hopefully form could stay like this for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And your team, right before the first round of pit stops, all 5 of you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lined up on the bottom, ready to go. And then you took the second part of the race and kind of lagged back. And then it looked like the team got separated a little bit there. So what was the difference between the first and second round of pit stops?
Honestly, it just comes down to small details. You know, we try to pit all together, try to get the best team result possible. Sometimes small mistakes happen, like they did before the caution came out, and me and Clayton had a bit of a better pit cycle than the rest of our team, so we were trying to stay up front with the rest of the guys, but ultimately the caution came out, so it just brought everybody back into play, so it is what it is.
Yeah, man, absolutely. There, good, strong run, though. Glad to see you in podium here for the Global Racing Truck Series League, and just congratulations, man, to you and the entire team. Awesome job out there. But the floor is yours. Who would you like to thank before we let you go this evening?
I just want to shout out to Premier Racing Setups. Been kind of a new opportunity for me this season. They've took me on just a couple weeks ago, so just shout out to them. I get free setups every week, and you can buy their setups on their website. And just shout out to Clay for bringing me on the team this season. So
there you go. There's Austin McGill in the 99, man. Congratulations again. Wish you continued success throughout the entire 2024 season, and we'll catch you next week.
thank you.
Yes, sir. That was Austin McGill joining whatchamacallit Racing. And now this guy, Dustin, we're going to load up Victor Lane. I don't know what else we can ask this guy. Chad McGinley's 7th checkered flag here in 2024.
Yes, sir. Sideways at its best.
First off, how are you? Are you okay? That was a nasty lick there after the finish line.
I'm all right. The Grim Reaper Motorsports team put together a great, strong truck. Keep me afloat here.
Oh, you were afloat. That's for sure.
You Austin Dillon to catch fence after the finish line there. Just impressive stuff. The first half of the race, you weren't around. You were like 10th place, just kind of floating. You were in the pack. You were just not up there. After the first pit stops, you kind of poked your nose in there in the top 5, played around a little bit. But then you were all in the front there that last stint. So was that just part of the team strategy on your behalf, or was that just something that you had to figure out as the race went along?
No, that was definitely the strat, to kind of hang back, save as much fuel as possible. That way we could push at the end. Being able to stretch it out that long gave us plenty of room to just push 100%, 110% if needed, and not have to worry about running out of fuel at the end of it. So that was definitely the game plan for the day. Be there when it counts and hopefully get the win and pulled it off.
Absolutely, man. You and your teammates did pretty well tonight. But of course, you the highest running one. And nothing ceases to amaze me, man. You can do it all. So that being said, 7th checkered flag. Congratulations. Who would you like to thank before we let you go?
Well, thank you guys as always. You guys always put a good show, so I'm sure this finish is going to be a something to watch tonight after I get done with all these practice sessions for Team Conti. Thank Team Conti for building a fast truck. And obviously Grim Reaper guys for helping putting on a good show, and fortunate for Holmesy to get early exited and then late exit on Bobby's behalf. That kind of sucked. But overall, it was pretty fun. We were strong. We're showing them that we're here. That was the whole game plan for the whole year this year at Global. So everybody at Global, appreciate all your hard work and all the effort that's put in this season. It's been fun, that's for sure. Keep going and on to the next one.
And hopefully Ronald's okay there. Hit that little cutout in the pit wall there that has a cutout there after just a couple pit
he
stalls.
didn't hit it. He demolished it.
Oh,
Just-
yeah.
Mark Martin did at Michigan. I think that was the reference. So, yeah. But anyway, man, we'll let you go. Have a good night, and we'll catch you next week at Michigan, speaking of which.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Talk to you guys later.
All right, man. See, Dustin, I make the Michigan reference before I looked at the schedule, and then I realized Michigan's next week. Hopefully that's
Right?
not a futuristic sign
It's
of
not an
what's to
omen. Don't omen it.
Well, it's Daytona. I mean, you could say thoughts and everything, but actually, I just want to turn full attention to the schedule. Michigan, Richmond, Watkins Glen, and Milwaukee. So you got 2 short tracks, almost an intermediate with Milwaukee. You got a road course, and you got the big 2-mile track. So a lot of variances, and you got people still trying to file in. I think it's top 12. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that advanced into the chase. Which starts 2 weeks after the fact at September 8th at Atlanta. Dustin, this racing is getting very good. Even though Chad's winning everything out there with Joshua, the competition overall, we're seeing different drivers more and more file inside this top 3.
Yeah, and we really are. And I mean, and that's a testament to the league and to all the drivers that are there. I mean, they've been putting on an excellent show. I mean, we made mention of it before. The racecraft, the sportsmanship's gotten a lot better. I mean, not many leagues can say that they have gone 94 laps without a caution. They only had 1 caution. Even fewer than that can say they've gone caution-free at a 50% race length at
I can name
Daytona.
one.
So I know you can name one. But because we happen to be here, I gotcha. But it's I mean, it's great racing. I love seeing the new guys up there. Great competition. There's a lot of times we don't know what to expect. Some of these drivers we've never seen, especially when we get to some of the shorter tracks. We got Richmond in there, one of my favorite short tracks to watch, alongside with Bristol. I don't know how some of these newer drivers run at a short track. Then we have Watkins Glen, a road course. I don't know how some of these guys are. Some drivers are road course ringers, some are not. So there's a lot of variables in there. It's going to be interesting, especially over the next 4 or 5 weeks or so, to see exactly what happens. But we're going from a 2.5 mile down to a 2-mile with Michigan. Michigan always poses some great racing as well. And then we go down to a short track, and then a short flat track, and then, you know, the road course is mixed in there as well. So it's going to be interesting.
Great. Final 4 stretch there, August 4th, 11th, 18th, 25th. That's their next 4 weeks. And then the chase begins September 8th at Atlanta. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining in. I think at least I saw 19 at the most on the YouTube side.
20.
Appreciate you. We saw 20. Okay, you always see the number 1 higher than me. I don't know how that works. But either way, 20.
I've got
20
all the gizmos over here, my guy.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. That's why the production's so good. So, all right, guys, have a good rest of your night. Scott Martin's voice is going to take us out here, and we'll see you next Sunday, or actually Tuesday. We'll see you Tuesday here for the RSR Next Generation Cup Series as they continue on their 2024 B journey. And guys, as always, get your nerd on.
This presentation is brought to you in part by
Martin Sports. Get the apparel, look stylish, be badass with apparel from Martin Sports. martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag. Must-have flag marshaling system for any aspiring sim racer. Get yours today at iracingiflag.com. Boomer button boxes. Total sim control at your fingertips. boomerbuttonboxes.com. If you race hard, then you need to rock hard.
And no station gets you harder than
iRock935.com. If you're a collector and that's your game, then Dusty Pete's, that's the name. DustyPete's.com.
Back when nothing truly